Hi besties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Damola, and on today's tutorial I'm going to be teaching you how to make this beautiful GIGOT sleeve that you are seeing on your screen. This tutorial is actually very easy and beginner friendly, so without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the tutorial. So now if you look at the sleeve properly, you would notice that the sleeve is divided into two. We have the puffy part and the fitted part, right? So the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to determine my full sleeve length. My full sleeve length now is 22 inches, right? Now I want the puffy part of my sleeve to stop before my elbow, and when I took my elbow measurement I had 12 inches, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and draw my starting line, and I'm going to impute 12 inches. So now from my starting line, I'm going to measure 6 inches down like so, and I'm going to be drawing a straight line at that point. This will enable me draw out my armhole curve. Now after doing that, I'm going to come to my starting line and I'm going to go in by 1 inch, just like you can see me doing. Then from that 1 inch, I'm going to draw my armhole curve towards that 6-inch mark that I made earlier, right? Please don't mind my curve, my marker was acting funny. That's why my curve is looking like that, right? So the next thing I'm going to do now is on that line, on that curve, I'm going to go ahead and impute the armhole measurements that I'm working with. So now after taking my armhole measurements on the blouse I'm working with, it was 11 inches. So I'm going to go ahead now and mark 11 inches on that line. And after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and impute my upper arm measurement as well, and I'm going to draw a straight line to connect the two. And after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, so now we can proceed to the next step. So after cutting it out, this is what it looks like, right? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and slash it. So now I'm going to be drawing a straight line across the sleeve like so, right? So now for this part, I didn't use any measurements in particular, right? I just went ahead to draw straight lines across the sleeve, right? But you can do 1 to 1.5 inches, it depends on you, right? So I went ahead to draw about 4 lines, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it now. So now when you are cutting, make sure you don't cut all the way to the edge, right? Because we are not going to be slashing the armhole part. So I'm going to be leaving about 1/4 inch when I get to that armhole area, right? So go ahead and slash all your lines, leaving 1/4 inch when you get to your armhole area like so. And after doing that, we are going to go ahead and cut on our fabric, right? So here's the fabric I'm going to be using. It is a crepe fabric and it is very thick, it is not lightweight. So I'm going to be placing the first piece on the folded part of the fabric, just like you can see me doing, and I'm going to be pinning it down. So make sure you pin that down nicely, okay? So after doing that, now I can now go ahead and determine how wide I want to spread my sleeve. Okay, so now I'm going to take 3.5 inches after the first slash line, okay, and I'm going to be pinning the second piece down. For the third piece also, I'm going to measure 3.5 inch after the second piece, and I'm going to be pinning it down, and I'm going to do that for the 2 remaining pieces as well. So this is what it looks like now, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. But before that, I'm going to be adding my sewing allowance, right? I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch on the armhole area, 1 inch for my side seam allowance, and also 1 inch for the hem of the sleeve. So after cutting it out, this is what it looks like, right? So note that this is for just one sleeve, right? So now we're going to go ahead and cut the other sleeve. So after cutting both sleeves, this is what they look like, right? So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and unpin it. Then the next thing I'm going to do now is to make a notch at the midpoint of the armhole and also on the hem. This is going to guide us when we start sewing. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out the remaining parts of my sleeve, that is the part that extends from my elbow down to my wrist, right? So I'm going to be using this sample net for that part. Now if you remember, when we were cutting the other part that we slashed, our sleeve length was 12 inches, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place that 12 inches at the end of this fabric, and I'm going to go ahead and mark my full sleeve length plus 1 inch sewing allowance, which makes my full sleeve length 23 inches, right? Then on this point, I'm going to go ahead and impute my wrist measurement, right? Then on the other part, I'm going to go ahead and impute my upper arm measurement. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect with a straight line, and I'm going to cut it out. So I've gone ahead to cut it out, right? And this is what it looks like. So I went ahead to notch the part that is going to be going towards my elbow, right? Then I'm going to open it up like so, and I'm going to bring back the other piece that we slashed earlier, right? And I'm going to be placing the notched part on my elbow. I'm going to be placing it on this notched part on the sample net, and I'm going to be pinning it down. Then I'm going to go ahead and match the side seam together also, right? So just watch what I'm doing in the video, right? So after pinning the notched part together, I went ahead to align the side seams of both pieces, right? So after doing that, you are going to have something like this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pleat the excesses on the sample net. So after doing that, this is what it looks like, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and fold my fabric into two on the wrong side like so, and I'm going to be sewing down the sides by 1 inch, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Then I'm going to come back to show you guys what it looks like. So after sewing it down, this is what it looks like, right? You can see how neat it is looking, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and join this to the dress that I'm working with, right? So you can go ahead and use this for your blouse, for your dress, anything you want to use it for, right? So now for this wrist part, I didn't hem it because I wanted to add a flare at the end of the sleeve, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add it now. Then I'm going to come back to show you guys what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after adding the flare to the hem of the sleeve. You can see how beautiful it looks. If you like this video, please do well to give this video a thumbs up, like and share. And if you've not subscribed, please do well to click on the subscribe button. And also don't forget to turn on the post notification so you get notified whenever I post a new video. And I will see you in my next video.